Hello everybody, it's Primalism, and today we're going to start off the video with 1 jar of these, some beef blood. I'm going to go ahead and mix it up because the last time I had it, kind of what happened was the top half of it was kind of thicker, as that contained like all the coagulated blood had kind of risen to the top, even though it had been previously mixed. So I'm going to go ahead and mix it all up with like a fork to create a more even consistency, and then I'm just going to drink this whole jar of blood. Again, I kind of did the same thing that I did last time. I just let it thaw out in the fridge overnight. This morning I took it out of the fridge, placed it on the counter, and just got it, ready for consumption. Wanted to get a little bit warmer before I start drinking it. Again, a strong, beefy smell. This one is much darker red than the last one, I feel like. Interesting. Okay, time to consume some raw blood. Cheers, fellas. You're just a guy, enjoying a glass of blood. A little too much in that shot. Tastes a little interesting, Tastes a little different than last time. Just gonna keep on going. It's the elixir of youth, the elixir of life. It's raw blood. If I was going to describe to you like the consistency of this, I would say it's more like blood smoothie. Because fresh blood is nice and liquidy and warm and all that sort of stuff. Got a little blood mustache. This stuff is more like, it's brutal. This stuff is brutal. Yeah. I like to see it on my teeth, all the blood in the teeth, but you can't really see it so much. A glass of blood a day keeps the doctor away. Ooh. Yeah. It really, gives a nice color to the lips, I would say. This one has an interesting taste to it. Not sure what I'm tasting. I don't want to speak out of line or say anything that's wrong, but it has an interesting flavor, which is all I'll say. Almost finished. There you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed. And we're going to be following it up with some raw liver. I'm already feeling really good off of that blood. Feel nice and calm and relaxed. And it's a little frozen. What I'm going to do is basically just cut all this up, let it kind of warm up a little bit, and then would consume it. But yeah, man. There's a lot of people who will talk about certain kind of like hypervitaminosis A from eating too much raw liver, or I think that's the term for it, or just like vitamin A toxicity, or like when you drink a lot of blood, some people say, oh, I drink so much blood and then I got this sort of problem. I have never once experienced any sign of that. Not even when I was eating a pound of raw liver every single day. It never happened. The only thing that happened when I was eating a pound of liver a day is that I cured my acne and I felt incredible all day long. So I am highly skeptical of any information out there talking about getting some kind of hypervitaminosis A or something like that, because I've never experienced the issue. Of course, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. I'm just saying that, I don't know, I'm highly skeptical of what other things these people have maybe eaten. But, I'm not going to judge. It's whatever. It's just kind of how I feel. That is why I'm comfortable recommending eating like this. Anyways, let's just go ahead and get this all cut up. I really can't stress enough right now, that jar of blood has me feeling really nice. Pro tip, red towels. Red towels are your friend. Just gonna chop up my liver here. I like everything to be pre-chopped up just so I can eat it all at once. Yeah, guys, I'm feeling, really good eating this way, and I just can't stress enough, like, that jar of blood I just drank, I'm feeling really good. I didn't really notice it too much when I had that first jar of blood, but this one, for some reason, I'm feeling it a lot more. What I'm feeling right now is just kind of like this mellow wave that's kind of come over me, kind of like this warm, mellow wave, and I feel sharper in my head. I kid you not. If you've never felt that way when you ate a food before, then you're gonna have no idea what I'm saying, and you're probably thinking to yourself, he's full of shit. I understand exactly where you're coming from, because until I ate raw meat, I also never experienced anything like that before. Wow, my brain is just happy. All these feel-good chemicals feel like they're just rushing to my head. Blood is I need to actually place an order right now before I forget. I'm gonna get probably 4 or 5 different glasses of blood and try to do lots of it. Yeah, this is like a king's meal right here. A jar of blood, a pound of liver, fat, this delicious ground beef. Somebody in my Discord said, it's funny how you can eat better than billionaires with cheap organs. And that is the one thing about this diet. You don't need to be a rich man. You don't need money. You don't need anything that doesn't actually matter in this world. The only thing that you need is, the courage to break free from your conditioning and eat this food. Anybody can go out and buy raw organs, raw liver. You don't have to buy it. You can just go out and kill an animal and then eat it raw. You can do this completely for free if you're die hard enough. But yeah, the answer to health and happiness and longevity has nothing to do with money or supercars or houses or, supermodel wives or whatever. It's all about this, the raw meat, the raw foods, the blood, the liver, everything. This is still hard as a rock, this piece right here. So I'm gonna have to let it thaw out a little bit longer. There we go. Again, oh, you can't see it, but I put all of my bags for my meat inside of this container here, and then I'll go throw it out at the end of the day. As a matter of fact, I've actually got some trim fat that's already ready to eat. So I'm gonna go ahead and just plate this. And we'll probably need a little bit more. Might do a quarter of this bag of fat here. You can't have too much fat, guys. You really can't. There we go. Now all I'm gonna do is just wait for all this stuff to kind of thaw out, give it an hour or so, work on some videos. And yeah, this should be my meal today. All right, so I'm here with my dinner. Today we're having just beef fat, ground beef, and beef liver. And you guys can't see it, but I'm actually watching a little bit of Death Note. That's my favorite show ever. We're just gonna enjoy this food here. I am a carnivore, you know, a raw carnivore. That's what I do. We just eat raw meat. We work to afford our raw meat. Okay. First bite of food all day, except for the blood. Oh, it's so good. Mm-hmm. This is nice. Today was kind of a depressing day. You know, it was kind of cold and cloudy and not a whole lot going on, and I'm too cheap to put on my heater because it's so expensive that I just bundle up. I've noticed that my hair, relative to like yesterday, hasn't seemed to get any greasier at all. I'm still doing the whole like, you know, not showering thing. My hair hasn't gotten any greasier. As a matter of fact, I feel like I've maybe reached kind of like a balance to where now things seem to be more stable. However, it might just be because it's been colder today. I do enjoy kind of that, this is going to sound really weird, that feeling when it's warmer of being kind of like sweatier and a little bit greasier. I don't know, I just like it. And then also being able to go out in the sun and just get all that sun on your skin. You know, as a matter of fact, that reminds me, somebody said, everybody says, you know, oh, you know, like, just get a whole lot of sun, that'll cure your acne. You know, as much as I do agree with the fact that sun does cure acne, if I can cure my acne without sun, with simply not eating carbohydrates, milk, or vegetables, being a white person, where, you know, historically we live in places that don't get sun all year round, I feel like it's more telling that the diet fixes the acne without sunlight. You know, I get a little bit of sunlight. Obviously, I've gotten a little bit tanner since I started this, but not a whole lot. You know, I still have a lot of tanning left to do. I feel like, you know, the getting the sunlight is kind of like a temporary solution, because even if I'm getting a lot of sunlight, if the next day I don't get any sunlight, what happens is I'll start to develop acne again. All that the sun really does is kind of just mask the acne. It hides all of the redness. When what this is doing is fixing it from the inside out. Don't get me wrong, sun is important. It's a very important part of the puzzle. And if I was exposed to sunlight all day long, maybe living in like California or Florida or something like that, then I would probably be able to eat dairy and vegetables and honey and fruit without any issues. Granted, I'm continuously getting the sunlight every single day. But I'm a white person. And you know, white people are from colder climates where you're not getting sun all year. So I just feel like this makes more sense. Like, does that make any sense to you guys? It might not make any sense to you, but it makes a lot of sense to me. There's very few jobs that you can do outside that don't suck ass. I've done them, okay? I've built houses. I've worked on cars. I've done HVAC. That's a lot of inside work, but there's a lot of outside as well. Other carpentry type things. And let me tell you what, every single one of those things sucks ass. So I don't think there's a whole lot of jobs you can do outside that pay you a reasonable wage that don't suck ass. Sure, you get a fun job, maybe working at a garden, working on a farm. Good luck getting more than $10 an hour. You know, how am I gonna buy this food? Just being real. Sorry if that sounded rude to you. I'm not trying to sound rude. I'm just trying to communicate my opinion on this. I do appreciate all of the suggestions, but I do hope that my progress has shown you guys that I kind of know what the heck I'm talking about. And I'm not saying that you don't know what you're talking about. I'm just saying that I also want you to know I kind of know what I'm talking about. Something that I've just thought about is how I haven't been having any cravings for any other food. since I really started incorporating the diversity of foods into my diet. Diversity meaning organs and fat and blood. I haven't had any cravings at all for anything. I'm not craving dairy, I'm not craving honey, I'm not craving junk food, I'm not craving anything. I will tell you, this diet is easy when you don't have distractions around you. I remember when I would do this diet living with my parents, and it was always tempting to, because we share the same fridge, it was always tempting to take a bite out of like the pasteurized cheese or, eat something that I'm not supposed to. Whereas right now, I've never been more distraction free in my life. So this stuff has been just easy. Man, Death Note is such a good show. I never liked anime all my life. And then there was this period of time where I was living with my dad, where I had like nothing to do. And I was like, I don't know, I kept on seeing Death Note get recommended on Netflix. So I finally watched it and I was like, this is one of the coolest shows I've ever seen in my life. This was a few years ago. I really like the characters. I like the atmosphere. I like how much like problem solving that there is in it, and just like investigation, and there's lots of dialogue. The characters talking to each other or thinking, and it's very deep, and the art is very cool. It's not like over the top. I love the way the art looks in Death Note. Gosh, it is like one of the most relaxing shows to watch as well. Like the characters, like it's relaxing because the characters, like they just go on these like really long monologues or whatever, and the voices are just so relaxing. I might eat all of this food in one sitting. Lots of liver here. Man, imagine how I feel right now. 1 cup of blood and then a pound of raw liver. There's no better way to eat, in my opinion. Starting to get a little full. My brain gets full way before my stomach gets full. My brain will be like, I'm nourished, bud. You can quit. This stuff is just so nutrient dense. That blood earlier, it was the only thing that I had all day. And that jar of blood alone was so satisfying that I was like full after eating it. It's been a couple hours since I drank the blood. It's highly satiating food for how little of it you consume. I'm actually starting to kind of like having facial hair. I don't know. It's been a while since I've had longer hair and facial hair. It feels good though. It just feels like me, When you cut it off, it's not really you. I don't know how to say that. It's like you can grow it. You might as well have it, right? It just feels like a part of me, and it kind of makes you lonely when you don't have like your facial hair or your head hair. I could eat the rest of this right now, or I could just save it for lunchtime tomorrow. It's kind of how I'm feeling. I've been recommended to get a silverware that's been made out of a horn or something like that, or bone, or I can't remember. Probably a horn of some kind, which sounds like a great idea. I'm gonna do that. Man, being able to eat as much raw meat as you want and get full and satiated with it, it's a fantastic feeling. Having the correct proportions of fat, muscle meat, organs is very crucial if you're going to try to eat this way. You can do this with, ground beef and nothing but you're going to be missing a lot of nutrients, and it's just not the right way to eat. I've tried doing it like that, but that is what burns you out. If you have the organs and the blood and the fat, I highly doubt you can get burned out of this food. I've been asked, why do I do it like separately like this? Why don't I just combine it? I don't like everything meshing together. You know, the juice from the liver is going to like soften up the ground beef, and everything's going to taste like liver. I don't necessarily want everything to taste like liver. You know, I like to experience the different flavors as I'm eating. I like to keep things separate, you know? You know what I'm saying? Just, okay, one more bite of the fat, the ground beef, and then I'm done. Well, guys, that's the meal. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If there's anything that you guys want to see, let me know in the comments. I'm definitely thinking about diversifying, trying out some new content just based on what you guys want to see. And yeah, not a whole lot going on the next few days, just kind of working, eating raw meat, doing the same old, same old. But if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one.